Hello, my name is Alun, and today I am facilitating the third of 4 sessions of Impulse Drive, but we are playing in the Expanse setting. We've tweaked Impulse Drive a bit to play the Expanse. This game was organised as part of the Gauntlet RPG community's monthly calendar. If you don't know about the Gauntlet, then please search Gauntlet-RPG and you will find us and what we do. I'm not going to tell you much more about the Gauntlet. Please look at the introduction to some earlier videos of mine. We are playing with safety rules. All these players have played with me before. They've been in this series to date together, so they understand the safety rules we're using: X-card, lines, veils. We're playing with open door, and also within the Gauntlet code of conduct. No, I'll leave that until after introduction. So as I say, my name is Alun. My pronouns are he, him. Let me go in reverse character keeper order, just for fun. Bodhi, say hello and tell us about Sofia Torres.
Hi, I'm Bodhi, pronouns they, them, and I'm playing Sofia, pronouns she, her, who is an ex-cop, ex-detective turned private eye, part of the crew because she's on the, she's laying low from Pinkwater security. She was investigating some disappearances and everything got a bit too hot. The rest of the crew don't know that. Sophia's a belter, but with first-generation belter. Parents are from Earth, so with strong ties to the Earth, and so having ties to 2 of the 3 main factions in the game, she, of course, hates the Martian Navy because that's the only one left. And last time, Sofia didn't acquit herself very well controlling the ship, but then that's not her area of expertise. So I guess maybe she should have been left on the ship, but I couldn't make the first session, so she was.
Yes, an unfortunate accident, but who else would you have left? I think is the hard question. That is our one of our belters. Let's move along. Treb, say hello and tell us about Kit Parker.
Hi, I'm Treb. I use he, they pronouns. I am playing Kit Parker. They are former Martian MRCN Intelligence agent who left the Martian military without leave after discovering some information that made them rethink their loyalties and would probably be damaging to Mars, to the Mars government if it was ever published.
And last time held off a load of proto-molecule infected cockroaches.
Yeah, there was a disagreement about who should stay behind to cover the rear, but Kit won that argument.
Won the argument, successfully manipulated the other player character. It's a fine line. It's a fine line. Moving along, Brandon, say hello and tell us something about RaeDawn and what she did last time.
Yes. Hi, this is Brandon, any pronouns, and my character is RaeDawn Wamba, she, her, who is very much a belter, having been born on a ship and having dreadful problems with authority as a result of the calamity in which her family were exterminated by various authorities' carelessness, and allowing them to be killed by pirates. When last we saw her, she was involved in this supposed milk run to go wake up a dormant system and download some things from it, which turned out to be very much fraught because of the presence of green cockroaches that shouldn't have been alive by any stretch of the imagination, but nevertheless were. And so she is furious about that and has concealed it poorly. And is determined to find out what the devil is going on.
Okay.
We'll see.
And she had plenty of opportunity last time to confront authority, as I remember. So moving on, John, say hello. Tell us something about Felix Rae and what happened last time.
Yeah, hi, I'm John. I use he, him pronouns, playing Felix Rae, also with he, him. Felix is ex-UN military. He left the military lifestyle in search of something different and ended up with this crew. And last time, yeah, we saw a little bit of a disagreement about who should stay behind, but Felix did leave that to Kit. Though there was a discussion later on about it. And then I think Felix actually spent most of the time indulging himself in drink and kind of just feeling tired about the situation.
Yeah, felt the strain, I think, last time a little bit. Okay, so those are our characters. They are currently on series. The closest thing the belt has to a capital, and they've been on a spending spree. They ended up managing to leverage out of the Taxila Mining Corporation rather more funding than Taxila initially paid for what was supposed to be a milk run. The person they dealt with at Taxila when they got back to Ceres, the one who'd sent them on this apparent milk run, apparently had an accident and was dead when they returned. The other kind of factions that we so far have in play, as Treb has said, Kit is missing, inverted commas, from MRCN Intelligence. So there's a possibility that the Martian Navy is in play. And the Martian Navy, some of their supplies, the characters found in the asteroid they visited, which was also, it appeared, a supply dump for the anarcho OPA terrorist organization. And the OPA, the anarcho OPA, were heading back to that supply dump when the characters blew it up. Sadly, the blast did not take out the OPA ship. So we can assume, I think, that the anarcho OPA are also in play. So you have a dead client, you have potential MRCN involvement, and you have an OPA terrorist cell. What more could you want? So one more thing. So we had a little chat before, and I think that RaeDawn would like to have a little scene setting. So RaeDawn, go ahead.
So RaeDawn comes back onto the Skylark, and in her hand she has a boxed up small object, which she unwraps, and it's a hardware module that she goes over and plugs into her personal console, which is her workstation, where she tinkers with things down in the just off the cargo hold of the ship. And she punches a few buttons and says to no one, apparently, "All right then, let's see what you're all about." And she goes over to her workbench, and there, clamped in a bunch of jigs with a scanner pointed at it, is a small, durable-looking, transparent vessel, and inside is what looks like a green cockroach that is flitting about the center of this.
Can I assume that you have set off a personal project?
I have.
So when you decide to devote your free time to a personal project within the scope of your expertise, sure, but then some of the following. I think I need to know what you want to find out.
She wants to find out where the devil this thing came from, or what is it, or anything.
Okay, so
she's furious that they weren't briefed properly, and this is the worst of the whole business.
okay.
Not only was that place a hotspot, but it had something that just shouldn't have been there at all.
I'm going to give that, because it says here, then I would do some of the following. Then some of the following. So, okay. You can do it with a 3 to 6 scene clock. I think that this is a 3 to 6 episode clock, I think. Because I don't think it should be resolvable within a single scene.
No, not at all. Except to create questions.
Yeah. So I've created RaeDawn's episode clock. I have the option. You will need the expertise or assistance of. You will need to destroy, dissect. You will need to travel to. You will need something first. It's going to be dangerous. Fine. It's going to be dangerous because this is an entirely unknown thing that shouldn't exist. So it's going to be dangerous, and you will need the expertise or assistance of someone with some biological expertise, which I don't think you have.
No, that's not in my particular expertise.
Okay, so if you want to make a note somewhere that you are going to need a biologist or something similar. You are going to need, you need to be careful because it's potentially dangerous. So this is not something you can just do in passing. I think it's also going to cost you a favor to the wrong kinds of people, because finding a disreputable biologist who won't just blab about this is going to require dangerous contacts. Okay?
Yes. Well, the fact that it exists attracts the wrong kinds of people too.
It does. It does. Yeah. So there we are. So it's a 6. Okay.
It's as fraught as I could make it.
Okay. And then.
But I don't mind. But I don't mind that because we got to find out what it is.
Okay. So the way we move this on, I'm just reading, is that if there is a scene which reasonably begins to move us in the direction of that, then bingo. So I can imagine that there might require a scene with a dangerous contact, that it might require a scene then with a biologist, and then it might require some scenes in which you interact with this potentially dangerous, hazardous material. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what's in my mind's eye. Okay, so that's sitting there on the shelf waiting to be used. But I think because we had a chat beforehand, and we know that Kit has decided to spend some of the funds received from the job last time to get a sniper rifle. And so I think, Kit, would you set the scene for us, please? Where do you think you have to go to get a sniper rifle, which is illegal on Ceres?
So that would be Ramus's musical antiques, which is You're muted, Alan.
So I am. It wouldn't be me if I wasn't. I guess, Kit, the question that I have to ask you is whether you share your intention with the rest of the crew so they can provide you with any backup, or is this your very own individual effort?
I don't want to talk. I don't want to tell anybody about this. There will be questions if I tell anybody what I'm doing.
Okay. So Kit is going to is off shopping. Let me ask RaeDawn. Is RaeDawn going to share her intentions with any of the crew?
She is, and basically I'm using the big spender to mark a tick on my project.
Okay.
Because I can, and well, I think it's appropriate that someone comes across it with a crew, across her while she's working on it.
Okay, so
as being the most natural way that this would be brought in. Okay.
Felix, what do you do when you go to find RaeDawn down in the kind of engineering spaces, and you find her? I'm just imagining that you're looking from behind her, maybe, and the light is dim. But there's a peculiarly reminiscent fluorescent blue glow just illuminating her face. What do you do, Felix?
I think the first indication that Felix is there to RaeDawn is actually his hand on her shoulder, as Felix just says, "Stars, RaeDawn, what did you do?"
RaeDawn turns, she's got a smile on her face, and she says, "Didn't I tell you to knock?"
"I was knocking. You didn't hear me."
"Yeah, you knocking with a with a glove."
RaeDawn,
What I done? I pick one off your vac suit.
And you kept it? Like
yeah,
a pet?
well, the rest of them destroyed the rest of them. Didn't want to crush them. They all got acid for insides. Would have eaten hole after hole through your equipment. We had to get them all off when checking them. Kept one.
Yeah,
Don't worry, can't get out.
What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Figure out what it is. Figure out why it is, how it is. That's the best question. It can be alive, and yet it doing that thing. So, because this is a whole nother layer of bullshit. What we got to deal with is some Sabaka bastard made this thing, or some experiment gone wrong, or you don't know.
I'm with you. I mean, it almost definitely is. That's just, gosh, if you get caught with this by it's gonna be bad enough it's the other crew. If you get caught by someone else, though, we're in for a world of trouble.
No one else going to know what this is neither, except what the folk what made it. Maybe proto-roach. If it they place, I think we got some questions for them. Of course, can't ask them straight up.
God, I'm gonna hate myself for this, but in a way, I feel like I've got to help you, and then we can just get this to an end sooner.
Yeah, we done found something here. What is the tail end of something a whole lot bigger? And
All right.
I don't want to get in no situation again. Well, we in trouble without we have something to understand it. See?
Yeah. No, I see. I trust you, Ray. I mean, I don't think you'd get into something you couldn't handle. So
We always in things we can't handle,
that's true.
but we make it nevertheless, huh? Don't have to be stronger than the ocean to swim.
Well, tell me what you need.
I need someone who know DNA, because this thing, I've done the regular molecular analysis. I've bought a special module for it, but this thing don't fit. I can't tell nothing about what keeping it alive because it's not using regular genetic material, or it's so heavy modified. Anyway, need me an expert who can keep his mouth shut.
Oh, is that all?
That all? No, that's
all right.
Actually, that's not all. Since you asked.
Of course.
Got the basic. Yeah. So, and I mean but that mostly it. Yeah, we need someone who top end research, or close to it, but not going to open his mouth or her mouth. And of course, we need to be careful because what folk, if they understand what we got here, a whole bunch going to want it, even if they don't know what it is. And maybe, maybe it's dangerous.
All right. Well, let me see what I can dredge up. Maybe there's someone out there crazy enough to help us.
I mean, these things did not exactly attack you, but
yeah, they don't make me feel real easy and at home though.
They just won. It ain't gonna get out unless somebody fuck with it.
That won't be me.
Felix, are you going to tell Sofia or Kit?
So I was wondering if maybe this is a good time to bring in the where's it at? My warden or warhorse move on share expertise. Because there was something about, my people have stood between civilization and the Martian military for decades. We never said like, well, what area of Martian military? And I don't know, I was kind of thinking maybe something around like information about Martian intelligence groups and maybe notable figures in that. And I don't know, maybe that it leads to something interesting with Kit, since Kit has a bit of background in that space too. But to answer your question, I was thinking, no, I probably wouldn't go straight to Kit or Sofia.
Okay, so let's have you share expertise then. Roll with calculating around MRCN Intelligence.
Okay, let's see. Calculating, I have a 0. Oh wait, sorry. Did we say roll with advantage?
When you consult cumulative knowledge or something you are an expert in, doesn't say that in the move. What does it say? Oh yes, you get to roll with advantage because of your wardenness. So re-roll the 1, I guess.
Yeah, I've got a 1, a 3, and okay, so that makes it a 4 and a 3.
That's a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Okay. So on a 17, I ask, and the SM will give you an interesting answer, but it's up to you to make it useful.
Yeah. So, I think the question is, who could we contact to get involved in this, or maybe where could we find them?
Okay, let me contemplate on that for a moment.
Yeah.
How you could get your hooks into the MRCN Intelligence. Let me go to Sofia. Sophia, what do we see as we open this episode with Sophia?
So I think we see Sophia's also been shopping, and I think we see Sophia lugging kind of, none of it's really packaged up. So she's got a military vac suit kind of over her shoulder, and the kind of, suppose the box with the taser and accessories in it, and a scanner, which I was hoping, if you're okay with it, could be a kind of forensic type scanner to fit with my background.
You don't need to specify. The
Okay.
scanner description says when you scope something out, using something, people, things, take your pick. So I don't think that's a problem.
When it's
Sure.
strange thing, when you scan a strange thing. Yeah.
So I've got all of this stuff, and I'm kind of clumping up into the cargo bay, and I think it'd be more interesting if there was someone else there, kind of.
Well, I think that that you arrive at the end of the conversation that Felix and RaeDawn have just been having. So RaeDawn is still in her little room with the door closed, as Felix is coming out. Yeah.
Yep.
So Felix, there's Sophia. She's carrying all this kind of stuff rather ungainly, even in the low gravity.
Oh, whoa! Hey, do you need a hand with this? Here, I'll help you.
Yeah, thanks. And I hand off one of the boxes, and figured I could use some heavier gear, given what we got ourselves into last time. I don't reckon it's getting any smoother sailing from here on out.
And the money doesn't do any good sitting in your pocket. So hey, makes sense to me.
Got me some nice shiny new protection.
So Felix, do you help? Do we see you go off with Sophia to help us stow all this stuff?
Yeah.
Because I think, therefore, you just triggered lean on me.
Oh.
When you offer them comfort or support, is my reading of that. So roll plus stalwart. Oh.
That is a 10. I think stalwart's my good one. I think I've got +2 in that one. Yep, so 12 total.
So you're helpful and supportive, all three. Your efforts help them. They have advantage the next time that they do something. So make a note of that, Sophia. Your support brings them some relief. They may clear one's stress.
Don't have any.
You aren't pushed to your limits or exposed to debt. Fine. So fine and dandy.
So I think now I've got advantage on 2 moves, because I got advantage going forward last time for a reason I can't remember, but I'm looking up.
My guess is, unless it's something very general, the circumstances will have changed enough for that kind of to have evaporated. But look it up. Meanwhile, I'll cut to Kit. Kit, Ramus's musical antiques. This is the cover for MRCN Intelligence. Because where else would you know about that would sell you something illegal? Now, that is not to say that the individuals here have a wanted poster on the wall, but they are a couple of steps away from a genuine intelligence officer. Yeah.
Sure.
So what do we see you doing?
So I just head inside, and I am going to approach the proprietor,
whose name is Luis. Yeah.
Yep.
And he says, "Hi, what can I do for you?"
I'd like to pick up a. Where was that name? I prepared.
There was much
The
shopping list.
the Kachansky 2031 that I left in storage here.
I will need some proof of ID.
And I'll like read off like an order number.
And am I right in thinking that are you trying to convince him that you are a member of the intelligence service, or that you have some way to access this with their permission? Yeah. I guess. So I think this is probably about keeping your cool.
Probably, yeah.
Or manipulate. Which would you prefer?
I think like manipulate is probably,
yeah.
Because like there's an element of money that needs to be like, you know, because I'm using the payoff that we got to do this, so I'm maybe like paying Lee's to like fast track it and not go through the normal checks maybe.
Yes,
especially not go through the normal checks that will set off all the alarms. Not the alarms for you, because you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So Kit, yeah. So I think that is manipulate. So roll with slick.
Okay. So I think my slick is 2. Yeah. So where's that? Roll. Okay, so that is 8.
So that's an 8. So on 7 to 9, they choose 1. They make a counter offer to be settled now before they do what you want, ask you to promise something and provide concrete assurance you'll follow through, and they'll do what you want. So I think that Luis is a slimy middleman. And slimy needs you to promise something and to provide concrete assurances that you'll follow through. Because I think his working assumption now is that you are at least loosely connected to MRCN Intelligence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that you are picking this up because, you know, for reasons he doesn't need to know, frankly. I think that he needs you to... he's had an inquiry, and the name that has come to that he's passed on, and forgive me if this steps on a bit of agency here, but it's too good an opportunity not to miss. There is a biologist called Roberta Ashang, and he needs you to find her for another client of his.
Okay.
Yeah? Does that bind us all back together neatly?
It does.
So if you can, she's somewhere on Ceres, but he needs her to be taken down to the docks at a certain point for a conversation. Let me cut back then at that point with a little thing that comes up on the screen 2 hours earlier. Felix, what have you told Luis at Ramus Musical Antiques about what you need? We know what you're going to get, but what did you tell him?
I think So I think Felix's approach is a little different. I think he probably goes in trying to take more of the imposing, intimidate route. It's, and suggesting that I know what's really going on here, and if you don't want the series, authorities to find out they've got an MRCN outpost operating under their noses, then you're gonna connect me to the right person. I need to talk to a biologist.
I think that's easy peasy intimidate. So roll with volatile.
That's going to be an 8 plus, what do I have in volatile? 1, so 9.
7 to 9. They choose one of the above or one of the following. I think they cave in and do what you want. I don't think that's not difficult for me. So Luis will try and track someone down, and he suggests that you meet in some dive near the series docks, some low-life bar where no one that he's worried about will find that. What's the name of the bar, Felix?
Zero gravity.
Okay. Zero gravity. And maybe it is near the center of the spun series, so maybe the gravity is lower down in the bowels of series.
But a lot of Belter clients don't like the heavy G.
Yeah. I'm going to assume that Felix and RaeDawn know about this. And we know that Kit is committed to doing this and doing it swiftly. So this needs to be done in a matter of hours, Kit. You can do this on your own, or do you need a additional skill set?
So what was the name again? Was it?
It was Roberta Ashang, Dr. Roberta Ashang.
Okay.
You want to take someone what knows series.
Well,
Yeah.
Kit's at Ramus at the moment. He's not with the crew, so let's ask Kit.
No, this is just editorial comment.
Yeah. So probably one of our builders.
Which one is going to help you find somebody?
The one who did that for a living, I think, would probably be the best bet.
So we have Sofia and Kit then looking for Dr. Ashang. How are you going to come at that, Sofia?
So I think I'm starting out with just a kind of general kind of address query on the series systems, but I'm kind of routing it through several kind of hidden nodes so it doesn't look like it's coming from me.
Okay. So this sounds like you're using your bounty hunter move.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm still a little confused about how the bounty hunter move works, but I'll roll with it.
I think it's premised on the idea that you have a single target, but it seems too good an investigation move not to make more use of. So the 2 leads you currently hold are for this bigger picture thing that we've kind of been hand waving about. But if you generate leads on any investigation, you can cash them in on one of those questions immediately.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
that works for me.
So let's have you roll to with volatile, I think.
That is a 5.
Oh, gee whiz. On 6-, the only decent involves undermining a crew member. The lead you get takes you to a certain Luis Delgado. he is the proprietor of Ramus's Musical Antiques. So when you go to see Luis, Sophia, what do you do?
I'm pretending to be whatever the local equivalent of a bailiff is.
I've just read the move in a bit more detail. The SM will tell you who. I think this undermines Kit. Because when you hack the system to see what connection Luis has, you get a bit of footage of Kit visiting the shop. You didn't need, if you'd scrolled back further, you might have found Felix, but you found Kit. And what it says is that player will answer the question. So you still get to ask one of those questions, but it is Kit who will have to answer it.
So
yeah, the implication is that that's not good.
Brandon, I know you're excited to be in, but I think you need to be a bit careful about the editorial comments. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Sophia, which question do you ask?
I ask, I think I'm struggling to pass these questions with this particular scenario, but I think that I'm basically being like, wait, why are you? I'm going with how are they connected? I'm saying kind of why are you coming to me with this? This goes straight back to you. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Kit?
I need a favor. Got to do a favor in return.
But you've seen the person that this search takes you to. Like, who's asking you to find this biologist?
That would be that guy.
And that guy is officially connected to the biologist. There's something mighty fishy going on here. Let's come at this from another angle, shall we? And
are you satisfied with Kit's answer, I suppose, is the question I have for Sophia.
I reckon that I don't think that Kit knows that much more. I think that Sophia reckons that Kit's being given the runaround by this person. I'm kind of trusting Kit at this point that they've got some personal reason for wanting this, but I think they're being given the runaround.
Okay, that's fine. How are you gonna get to the next step then, Sophia?
I think I ignore. This seems like a nest of snakes going down this angle. So I think I ignore the official angle and put out. Let's have a look. Can we say that I know someone in series security who I trust to be discreet, and I just drop a feeler with them for the name?
I mean, because this is your ex-agent.
Ex-agent,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Helix, I think, still have the contract. So you can certainly contact a friend of yours in Star Helix. What's her name?
I think that's to pick a name for a book I've been reading recently, Jane on One Year.
Fine. So yeah, so you have advantage in dealing with Jane. So what approach do we see you taking?
So I think I know where Jane likes to drink after work. So I am turning up with Jane's favorite drink and just putting it in front of her, kind of sliding it across the bar with no other announcement. And kind of, she looks at me and I'm like, I need a favor. And
that favor might be Sofia?
That's I pass over a scrap of well, actually not a scrap of paper in the Expanse. Like I flick over a text file on my pad and say what you have connected to this person discreetly.
I think you're trying to manipulate her, aren't you? Roll with slick.
Yeah, I reckon I am. Roll with slick and re-roll the. Well, I would re-roll the lowest. One of the dice. Oh, there it is. It's back again. One of the dice just disappeared, but I have 11 without even using my advantage, so I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. The advantage is gone, but because it's to do with her. So they choose one, accept your offer at face value and agree to exchange, ask you to promise something, and will do what you want. I think they will accept the offer at face value and agree to the exchange. And she can give you an address in a fairly rundown part of series. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so just to remind myself where I am before we take a break, because I think I may have created a very convoluted plot here, but just so I can be clear about this. RaeDawn needs a biologist. Felix has, given that task, intimidated Luis Delgado into fulfilling that, finding a biologist. He has come up with the name Roberta Ashang, and he is requiring Kit to get Roberta Ashang to a bar, this Belter bar, this zero gravity bar, in a matter of hours. Kit has subcontracted tracking Ashang down to Sofia, so that he can deliver Sofia to zero gravity to meet with Felix. I think that's the plot that we have collectively just created. Yeah. Okay. I now need a 10-minute break. So shall we be back at our seats at 5 past the hour? Is that okay? Okay, I'll see you then. Okay, we're back from our break, having elucidated the most complex plot I can imagine, having come out of 30 minutes of play. So let us see where this takes us. So, Sofia, you now know where Roberta Ashang lives. Do you go after her on your own, or do you take Kit with you?
I think I give Kit the option. I ask them whether they want to come.
Yeah, I'm going to come.
Okay. Because it must be said, given the way the clock is ticking, it is going to be a challenge to get her to the bar by the deadline Louise set you, Kit. So it will be going straight from where she lives to the bar. Felix, are you taking RaeDawn with you to meet this biologist?
Yeah, I think Felix goes back to Ray and tells her kind of, what's been arranged, and says that there's a more than zero chance this is just turns into some sort of trap. So maybe if you came along and offered a second pair of eyes in case things get heavy.
Don't worry about me. I have you back.
So I imagine you making your way down to this lower gravity level of Ceres. RaeDawn, how do we know that the OPA, because the OPA at this, we picked a point in the timeline where the OPA has a seat at the table with Fred Anderson, and we know that Dawes, I've forgotten his first name, is has got some has taken inverted commas control of Ceres. But down in some of these lower levels, how do you know, RaeDawn, that the factional aspects of the OPA are still alive and kicking on Ceres?
We know that because there's two completely separate security groups down here. In other words, the local, the patrolling, guards would make sure no trouble break out, have armbands and markings from both groups, who don't like each other.
Okay, so just so so I think what you've just said to me is that Star Helix has no remit down here. They never send patrols down here. They patrol the malls upstairs, but they never come down here.
That's right. And so it fall default to the OPA's dogs.
Okay.
What to keep order down here.
So competing OPA, I also call them sects, but groups, or gangs. Okay.
Gangs. Right now,
okay.
Here.
So do you make your way straight to zero gravity, or is there any precautions you want to take, Felix? I'm coming to you for this because it seems to me that you are the more tactically aware of the two.
Yeah, and actually, I was just looking at my hooks, and I have one that I think might apply. Life on the battlefield gave me fears which I cannot shake, and this, I can't imagine a place Felix would be more out of place than a, belter bar to meet a Martian intelligence agent. So I think that might apply. What do you think?
That I'm very happy to go with that. And that will give you disadvantage unless you say to me when the time comes, I don't have disadvantage because, yeah?
Yeah. So so you asked if he is making any other preparations. And I don't think so. I don't think Felix knows enough about the area. Other than I think the one idea I have is, they're going to be looking for me to make contact. RaeDawn, potentially at the same table if she wants to be, or sitting elsewhere in the bar is kind of what I was picturing as a cover, set of eyes to make sure if someone tries to sneak up behind me and stab me in the back or something, she's there to cover.
Just so I'm clear, I think you've got either you've marked off one of the 3 gear slots you have available and not chosen an item, or there's 1 gear slot marked off that shouldn't be marked off for Felix. And just to check, I think, Kit, that you have got marked on your gear list some stuff that will have recovered fully. So shotgun, assortment of fake identities, all of that stuff. I think that you can clear all of that because I think that was a hangover from last time.
Yeah, and just FYI, I actually, as one of my advances, opened a new gear slot, so I have 4 available.
Fine.
And I'm just going to clear them because I don't think I've declared any gear yet.
No, fine. I think the way to do this then is probably, shall we treat the cleared ones as available to use and fill them in when you use them? Yeah. So if you just fill in 2, that'll give you 4. Yeah. I just want to, the spreadsheet isn't entirely clear what's intended. So, okay. So there's the it's a grubby corridor in the depths of Ceres, Kit. That is the address Sophia has taken you to for Roberta Ashang. Sorry, Sophia.
I have a setup to this that's a really brief scene, but I think it's too good to pass up.
Oh, then set us up.
Which is, you see us aboard the Skylark, and I'm kind of putting on, I know we've got pre-advanced, we've got flashback gear declarations, but just for flavor, I'm putting on my ballistic vest, kind of strapping taser and pistol into holsters, kind of, and we're at the same time that Felix and RaeDawn are preparing to go to the bar, and none of us know where the others are going, and like we leave at the same time and just kind of wave to each other, kind of just not worrying about what we're each doing. Oh, you're muted again.
RaeDawn, what do you say to Sophia as you wave her off, not knowing that she's going to end up in the same place as you?
You strap for bear. You go and come home safe, yeah?
Absolutely. Can't be too careful though.
True that. All right, you know what you're doing.
And let us cut back to this grubby corridor with a bad flickering light at the end of the corridor in the depths of Ceres. Kit, what how does this look as you go to visit Roberta Ashang?
So when we arrive in this corridor, I'm just like basically like looking around and making sure there's no surprises waiting for us here.
This sounds like scope it out.
Yep.
Roll with calculating.
That's an 8, I guess.
7 to 9. Your perception is a little dull. Ask one of the questions, and I've put together as many questions as I can think of now.
What should I be on the lookout for?
I think this looks like the kind of place where random corridor crime is quite common. Yeah?
Okay.
Not that it may not happen, but that is, I think, what you would sense is the risk here. So, Sophia, Kit's got his eyes about them. You've approached the door. What approach, Sophia, are you going to take to get you across the threshold?
I think I'm going to knock first, see if I get an answer. And I'm aiming to do, I'm not sure there's a move that quite covers this, but do a really quick appraisal of what leverage I can get. I want to promise Roberta what I'm guessing most likely she wants, whether that's money, whether that's whatever that is. Like, I just kind of...
there isn't a move for it, and I think I can't tell you what it is. You don't know enough about her to know what it is, except for where she lives.
I think that given where she lives, I'm guessing that she's not working as a research biologist. I think I'm gonna offer her an interesting problem and payment for it, and bluff that I know what that is.
Okay. So remember that your job here is simply to get her to the bar, or to have Kit deliver her to the bar. So so you knock on the door, and there's a kind of the crackly intercom comes on, and it says, Yes, who's there?
Someone who needs someone with your skills.
I don't have any skills.
That's not what I've been told.
Who sent you?
I pause for a second and I'm like, looks to me like you could use a job.
What kind of job?
Well, you'll have to find that one out. If you're interested, I think you should come with me. We'd just be going for a drink. That's all.
In terms of the little kind of spy hole in the door, Kit, are you also in that field of view or not?
I'm like, yeah, I'm there.
Okay. And the intercom says, no, I think better than that. I think the door opens a crack until there's just a chain holding it closed. And a very worried Southeast Asian woman seems to look out at you. Who's that? She says to you, Sofia.
And I think at this point, I look to Kit because I haven't really been told much more than this.
Kit, what do you do?
I have a client who's very interested in having a conversation with you. They would like to seek your expertise with a project they're working on. It was all very hush hush.
Okay, so I think this is edging towards manipulate.
Yeah.
But I want to know when you use promises, guile, or charm. So is this are you trying to cheat her, charm her, or promise her?
No, I know this sounds sketchy. I promise you that my associate here and I will be watching the entire exchange, and we will make sure that you are safe.
I think roll plus slick, Kit. Let's see how convincing, whether she thinks that's a solid enough promise.
Okay. Come on. It's a 5.
Is
as Sophia, you've done these kind of doorsteps before. As Kit is speaking, you can see that she is not buying it, and any minute now she's going to slam that door in your face. What do you do, Sophia?
I think I put my foot. I could see this isn't going our way, so I put my boot into the gap and kind of put my weight against it before she can do that. And
that sounds like act quick. Roll with slick.
Yep.
Oh, I've forgotten. Do we mark experience with failure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, then, every cloud.
That's a 6. I have advantages stacked up. I can't really see whether they would be. I don't know how relevant her advantage has to.
She's an extremely slight woman.
So I think she tries to close the door on me, and I lean further into it and
re-roll the one.
My one. If the re-roll thing comes up, yep. Just about. It's yeah.
You do it, but choose one. You're off balance and rushed. You have disadvantage going forward. You've left something behind. I don't think that's relevant. You're pushed to your limits with the effort. Suffer 1 stress.
I think my foot doesn't fit, so I have to jam my hand in the door, and that hurt my hand. So that's a stress.
But I think throwing yourself against it, the chain gives, the door bursts open, and she backs off across this rather grubby bedsit. Kit, what do you do?
Now, easy now, easy now. We don't.
I think
all we're
manipulate
looking
has already
for-
failed. I think
Yeah.
you need to escalate from manipulate.
Happy to pick this up if you want to do a bit of a good cop, bad cop routine.
Yeah, Kit is definitely playing the good cop here. So
Okay, Sophia, I'm thinking intimidate then.
So yeah, intimidate. I'm like, yeah, this just stopped being a request.
Roll with volatile, I think.
So that is a 10.
Oh, fine. They have to choose one. Oh, she'll cave. There's no way she's going to take a risk here. Back at the zero gravity then. Felix, what Luis told you was to sit in the booth next to the bar. And that's where his contact will deliver the biologist. So I'm assuming, are you both sat in that booth?
Yeah, I don't want to be separated from you. Besides, you stick out like a sore thumb.
Not that noticeable.
Are you kidding? Just the way you walk.
You know,
No, in fairness, we do know that Felix can turn somersaults in zero
Yeah,
gravity.
no, he good capable, but look at I take his bicep. Look at you. You got muscles like what no belter got. That's how you can do what you do, because you're strong. But you know, you ain't made to go to tiny spaces. It's just different. You got your center of gravity higher. Bunch of other things I can't put a name to, but you stick out. It's you and
yeah,
India. You can't just toss that away with some special training.
No, all right. And I think Felix. Oh, sorry. I think Felix is kind of fidgety. Looks probably nervous in this scenario, and he's kind of like doing the head turning, like where are these people at? I don't want to be here any longer than I have to be.
Yeah, man. You causing more trouble. You're gonna cause trouble rather than hit it off.
And that is when you see Sophia and Kit come into the bar with a slight South Asian woman.
The fuck?
What do you do, Felix?
Doing? What they doing here?
All right, RaeDawn, let me see what they're up to. And I'm going to get up from the booth and head over. And I'm picturing I don't know, are they...
Slight correction. I would let Sophia take the lead, and I would be fading into the background and keeping an eye out. Okay,
so Sophia comes in with the South Asian woman. Kit is still on the threshold, not yet visible. So Sophia and this South Asian woman. I would describe, Felix, the South Asian woman as looking very nervous to the point of frightened.
And so I'll just quickly walk up to Sophia, take her by the elbow and kind of just gently pull her. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Who is that?
Someone I need to deliver to that table. Why is RaeDawn sitting on the table that I'm meeting at? You're screwing this up for me. I haven't realized at this point what's going on. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, stop screwing up my meeting.
And I think light bulbs go off in Felix's head of like, God, we got worked on both ends on this one. All right, come on, sit down.
Before we move away from that, we've been done from both ends. Kit, I think that you seem to be scoping it out, don't you? So
Yeah.
roll with calculating.
That's another 4.
You see nothing until bullets start to fly.
I think I'm just taken aback, like what the fuck?
Yeah, you are scoping the place out, but seeing only RaeDawn and Felix. Yeah, so that is when the first spray of automatic weapons hits the wall above RaeDawn's head. What do you do, RaeDawn?
Dive for cover.
Under the table?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Felix, you're leading Sofia and this woman back towards that table when the firing starts. What do you do?
I think Felix flips the table to form a bit of a barrier, pushing everyone and yelling at them. And I'd like to do stoic wall.
Well, before you, just to be clear, I don't think you get back to the same table. I think it's nice if RaeDawn's under the table you're supposed to be at, and you just flip a table on the way.
Yeah, then I'll flip the closest table. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this game has a move which is unlike anyone I've come across, which is called recover. When you're out of direct danger, which can mean in cover during a hostile situation, and take a moment to gather yourself, you can just check out that move, because this is not a game in which you're expected not to take pauses during the action, I think. So I'm just drawing that to your attention. So, Sofia, Felix has grabbed you and Dr. Ashang and pulled them down, pulled you both down behind this table. Kit, you were over by the door, kind of observing into the place. What do you do when the firing starts?
So I'm finding cover and trying to locate the shooters.
That sounds like scope it out again, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And we know how well that goes. But think of the experience.
It's a 6.
Go on.
I was just gonna say, can we? I don't know if this game lets you do lean on me after the roll's been made. Actually, I think it kind of says you're supposed to do it beforehand.
It's before, I feel.
Dang. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I find that annoying. And I think actually Felix is busy.
Yeah, I was going to try to justify it as perhaps he's drawing their attention, and that gives Kit more of an opportunity to examine. But
they're shooting at me.
Yeah, but that's fine.
So I don't think you can identify where the firing is coming from, Kit. It's not coming from your end of the bar or outside. Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you that one for nothing. So let's go back round. Felix, what have you got in mind as you drag Sofia and the doctor behind this table?
I'm drawing my pistol and looking to, avert their attention, and I think I'm maybe trying to yell some guidance of hey, we've got to get to RaeDawn and let's get out of here, and I'll hold them off.
Sofia, what do you do with that guidance? You're going to wait for him to do something and then make a dash for it? Well, let's have Felix do his thing and see how it goes, and then you might have the option. So when you stand defiant to defend another from violence or harm, Felix? Yeah? Okay.
So I'll discharge this move and roll with stalwart. So that's going to be a 9.
Okay, so on 9, hold 2. While you still stand in defense of them, you can spend hold 1/1 to redirect an attack from that which you defend to yourself, reduce the attacker's attacks by 1, open up the attacker to an ally, giving the ally advantage going forward against the attacker. Okay, so I don't think there's any that this is in the bank. You have 1 hold to use at an appropriate time. You don't have to say what it is until that time comes. RaeDawn, you are behind this table, and it did feel like that automatic fire was aimed in your direction.
Yeah, if it were the careless enough, don't make much difference. Their way out of this.
Interestingly, beneath the table is a box, a case, should I say.
So,
okay, just
so
you know that.
What is it?
So you flip it open.
Yeah.
It contains a disassembled sniper rifle.
The fuck?
Did I see that?
Oh yeah, it's too important not to see that.
I'm gonna try and make my way across to where RaeDawn is.
I think I said this booth is beside the bar, and so given the direction of fire, the safe approach kit would be to get behind the bar and make your way along the wall of this bar to where RaeDawn's booth is, behind that bar.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I meet him behind the bar?
Well, I think let's see how far Kit gets, because Kit's on a roll at the moment.
Okay. So this would be like acting quick, I guess.
I think so.
So I think that would be a good time to use my advance that I just got.
Go on.
To get float like a butterfly. When you use your reflexes or agility to avoid danger or deal with a threat, you have advantage to act quick.
Yeah, I mean, and feel free to make this as action hero as you like, depending on the outcome. So do your thing.
Right. I just remember what act quick is.
It's slick.
Yes. Okay. So I'll re-roll these. So that's just that's 2 6s already.
Would you like to re-roll one of those to see if you can get it better?
Nah. Well, I got a 2 in the other one, but that'll do.
So 10 plus. You're graceful, swift, or acrobatic, and you do it. So what does that look like? What do we see on screen?
I think we see like Kit like doing like rolls over the counter, and like just liquid fast, like liquid smooth, just running across to where RaeDawn is.
And I if I can add a little bit to that, I think we will see the bottles behind the bar exploding as Kit stays ahead of the trail of fire, to land in a 3-point superhero landing behind the table with RaeDawn. Yeah. So let's see. Sofia, the doctor, is paralyzed with fear. What do you do, Sofia? What I'm saying is don't need to worry about her running away. She's just...
I think in my head, let's go in my head for a second. My primary responsibility is to keep Roberta safe, because I've brought her here against her will, and in my ethics, that makes her my first responsibility. So I'm covering Roberta, and I'm saying, shit, this wasn't meant to happen. I'll get you out of here.
Okay, and we'll come back to find out how in a moment. So, RaeDawn, there's this sniper rifle, and Kit has just arrived kind of next to you behind the table. As kind of as more fire kind of patters into the wall above you. What do you do?
The fuck? What? Sofia brought a bounty here to the damn bar? What the fuck is here? God damn it, kid. Felix, what?
We can figure out the what the fucks later. Let's just get out of this mess. And I'm as I'm like saying that, I'm picking up pieces of the sniper rifle and just not even looking, like just
Flipping it together.
It. Yeah, like by muscle memory almost.
Okay, Felix, nobody still. There's just fire coming in from the back and other side of the bar, but it's not clear where, because no one's looked yet, I think, really, or with any success. What do you do, Felix?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I want to try and get a view of who is firing at us, because my initial feeling is this is Martian military who's tried to trap us, while we're trying to meet one of their people, but maybe not. Who knows? Could also be this OPA, something with them. So
I think that's scope it out, isn't it?
I think so.
With calculating then.
Let's see. So
unless you have something better to offer me.
Nope. I was gonna just mention we forgot to come back to that hook that I called out.
Oh, we did.
But I think for in this case, I think Felix rises above the hook, because I think when the bullets start flying, that fear, those pre-jitters he had, they just disappear.
Yeah.
And he snaps into that mode.
Fine. I think that's perfectly fine. And thank you for reminding me.
So that's going to be a 9.
Okay. Ask one of the questions from the list.
Okay. So yeah, I'm interested in who is firing at us. So that I think that's going to be who's really in control here.
I was wondering about what's my enemy's true position, so you know who they are and where they are.
Yeah, I was looking at that one too. So if you think that's the right one to go with, let's ask that.
I think any question you want to ask me, and I will tell you that there are half a dozen people, one with an automatic weapon, the other with pistols, and they are scattered around the back of the bar, which is the back way out. It looks like they came in that way, led by the guy with the machine gun, the automatic assault rifle. That's where the first spray came from, and then they've scattered to tables. And there are another half dozen innocent bystanders just lying on the ground as stuff's exploding about them. But yeah, half a dozen, mostly pistol armed, one with an automatic weapon.
And any insignias or indication of who they might be?
I think that's all you get at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you want to do with that information, Felix?
Well, it seems like the front way is the clear way out, and so I'm gonna keep standing defiant and offering, trying to provide cover fire while we can maybe retreat out that path.
Okay, so I guess you're looking at Kit. What are you trying to say? Shouting at Kit over the because they're further away from the door than you are.
Yeah. I think I'm shouting, further away, meaning I'm closer to the door than they are.
No,
they're further inside.
Just to be clear, then you are nearer the back of the bar.
Right.
They are they are furthest away from the door out. Yeah, because you were on your way back from the door where you met Sofia and had to flip the table over before you got to the back of the bar. So at this point, RaeDawn and Kit are at the back of the bar. You are about halfway between there and the door.
Yeah, so I think I'm shouting, this way, out this way. I'll cover you. and I see Kit unpacking this giant sniper rifle and just like, okay.
Yeah, kind of a. You could. Well, he could bean somebody with it.
RaeDawn, what are you going to do?
Fuck me. Okay. They has to be something here what I can use to make things more difficult for these folks.
Like what?
Wow. Feel free to kibitz.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, apart from a table and some chairs, I'm struggling really to come up with anything that you can throw at them. There's some spilled alcohol between you and the door.
Yeah, that's not helpful. Even if it's moving alcohol that burns like gasoline. I don't want to start a fire here in the bar. No, this just a tactical problem. I'm going to try to help Kit out.
Okay.
By spotting targets.
I wondered if you were edging towards the Kovacs paradigm.
I can do that, but if their expertise is going to help, why not?
Well,
this is absolute tobacco fucked up. So we don't even know who's fucking shooting at us. this is we screwed 9 ways to hell, but maybe they got more friends outside the door. This you give me a problem what I can understand, but right now we don't have no information.
Just tell me, can you see anybody?
I'm going to do that. It's so we got to know who these players are. So I do have expertise that may apply.
You do. So I think you share expertise
So
with advantage based on your rant. Roll with calculating, I think.
D6s, there we are. That's well, it's with advantage. So that's 13.
Which is good enough. Ask a question related to the topic, and the SM will give you a useful answer and ask you to make up the answer. Who's shooting at you, RaeDawn?
Who? Okay. God, there's so many good choices. Let's see. There are people who are actually trying to put a grab on this biologist. So these are that's my presumption, but the who is shooting at us.
Yeah. Feel free to bat that back to me if you don't want to be on the spot. I'm very happy to fill in, but what's your preference?
These are opiate. These are. What's the most dangerous thing? The most dangerous thing is a MRCN Tactical Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MRCN Tactical Squad. It is.
We're here to at the very least.
Well, let's not worry about why they're here. It's the Martians. And that's when I think I cut
MRCN. I say too.
Because they're not as muscular as Earthers, and they're certainly not Belters. Sofia, Felix beside you behind the table is saying, "I'll cover you, make a dash for." I paraphrase. "I'll cover you, dash for the door."
I look at Roberta. Can I tell whether Roberta is going to move when I shove her and tell her to move?
No. Shall we find out?
Let's find out.
Okay. Act quick.
Yep.
Or so yeah, you tell me, how do you get from your point of cover to the door?
I think I'm using as much cover as I can. I am knocking over tables, throwing kind of random patrons in front of me. I'm just kind of creating as much kind of visual and kinetic confusion as possible.
Okay. I think I really have to ask you to roll firefight here, because I need to know how much harm Felix is at risk of taking on your behalf.
Yep.
Okay. So you're in a firefight.
So that's an 8 with my volatile.
Exchange harm and choose one. So let me just create a MRCN Tactical Squad. And I think there are 6 of them, didn't I say? So there's the MRCN Tactical Squad. What harm do you do?
I think I am going to say I have my pistol with me because it's not realistic having my shotgun.
Okay, so and therefore I think you get hit by a pistol, so you will take 1 harm.
Yep, so that's just a scratch I get. Actually, I'm going to say I have my my ballistic vest on.
Okay.
So
you did say you had your ballistic vest on.
So I think this is when I could spend one of my holds to redirect that attack.
What I need to do before I ask you to do that is on a 7 to 9 you exchange, and then you choose one of the options, Sophia. Discharge your weapon with the discharge shag and deal double harm. Play its KG and suffer -1 harm. You hold position or halt and advance. You make an advance or force your enemy out of cover. You impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy. If they are a PC, they also or you are able to disengage and take a moment to recover.
I think I want to make an advance. I think the advance I want to make is getting Roberta 1 step closer to being clear.
Okay, so that means that the exchange harm is still in place. Flip back to Felix. What do we see Felix doing?
I think I see Roberta and Sofia starting to make a move, and so there's the gap that they've got to cross that's going to expose them, and so I step out a bit and start exchanging fire there. And I also have a ballistic vest, so I think you see like this bullet come in and just impact to that vest.
Meaning that Sophia doesn't take harm.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you saw a guy lining up on Sophia, and then you stand up and he alters fire to you. Okay. Let's cut back to Kit. What are you doing, Kit? You've just found out, according to RaeDawn, that they're Martians.
So I am gonna try and I want to try and get a position so that I can take out the heaviest hitter, the one with the machine gun.
Okay. I think that I can't see a way to do. I mean, unless the sniper rifle allows you to do it quicker, I think you have to identify that individual using scope it out, don't you?
Yeah. So
does my action have any help?
Well, there is. I don't think it does. Your move gives you advantage to share expertise. I don't think it passes any advantage on, as far as I can see, unless. Oh no, you've got the expert, haven't you?
Yeah, I do.
Sorry. So yeah, you are working with advantage, Kit, if you want it.
Okay. On scope it out?
Yeah.
Okay. So reroll these, and then I'll reroll that one. No, it rerolled all of them. I missed what that was actually.
So did I have to
was-
say.
It was a 2 and a 5. There's
Okay,
like
so-
a menu you can open that shows you
Oh,
the
so there is.
past things.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 9 plus 1, 10.
Okay, so on a 10, you get to ask me loads of questions.
Okay, so who's really in control here? Which is like who basically who's the commander is what I'm looking for.
Okay, there is certainly someone giving instructions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, while I remember, I do need to mark some damage to the tactical squad because Sofia did hit someone. So, sorry, Kit, go ahead. So you've spotted the officer, the person giving the instructions.
How could I best end this quickly?
I don't know. Let's see. What kind of equipment have you got to call on? You could try. Don't shoot. I'm MRCN. I'm just saying that would seem to me to be the quickest way to finish this.
Yeah, finish.
I didn't say you'd like the answer. Do you want to ask that question now that we've put that one on the shelf? Do you want to ask the question again? What's the next quickest way?
Yeah.
Take out the officer. Yeah. Because that would buy some breathing space.
That's a choice.
I'm just testing how much Martian there is left in you.
Yeah.
You missed. You say anything?
I tell you what, while you're thinking about it, Kit, because clearly this is a moral choice. Sofia, you made it halfway to the door. I'm assuming in a moment you're going to try and make it all the way out. RaeDawn, you're still behind this table. Kit is kind of looking at the sniper rifle and contemplating. Felix is kind of drawing fire. What do you do?
I put a hand on Kit's shoulder and go, "It us or them, man."
Kit, does that help any decision?
Because I know what his problem is.
Yeah. Kit is gonna take aim and fire at the officer.
I am muted. Okay. I don't know. So it just does a lot of harm, this, doesn't it?
So what I was looking for like an opportunity to use Alpha Strike.
Right. Yeah. I see. So yeah, I think this is a question. I think it's a move to set up Alpha Strike, isn't it? Because they're not currently under your gun. They know where you are. So I think you need to reposition.
Yeah.
In order for them to not think you are where you are. Yeah. Felix, have you used up all your holds? I can't remember.
I have one left, and I was going to ask if I could use the second. There's a open up the attacker to an ally, giving that ally advantage going forward. So I think this would be, great. Maybe Felix, seeing that Kit and RaeDawn, it seems like they're maybe kind of pinned down and not able to retreat because otherwise they'd be running backwards. Yeah. Felix pushes forward, going from cover to cover.
Okay, right. RaeDawn.
Yeah, there's a very cinematic way for me to set up Felix. which is like, if Kit needs cover, then the best way to, rather needs a vantage. You can move Kit or you can move the target, which is me. And I say the problem is they looking at you the same they looking at me, and at that point I'm going to dive out of cover.
In which direction? Behind the bar, towards the door?
Behind the bar.
Okay, so you have to
I am trying to draw fire with the risk that entails.
Okay.
That.
So I think this is probably act quick, isn't it?
It is. Which is not necessarily my best thing, but
roll with
what is
slick.
Act quick use? Slick?
Yeah.
No, I'm not terrible at using that, but okay. Eight.
So on an 8, you do it, but choose one. You're off balance and rushed. You have disadvantage to the end of the scene, I think. You've left something behind. The SM will tell you what. I'm not sure what you've got that's really plot worthy. You're pushed to your limits with the effort, suffer 1 stress.
I crash into something behind the bar. What kind of fall on me? I disadvantage.
Okay, so you're wrong-footed behind the bar, but a lot of fire seems to follow RaeDawn. Yeah? Let me then cut to Kit. You've got a moment. Now, you can either try to reposition in that moment, go the other way, away from where their attention is, or I think the offer is on the table that Felix can draw some fire to clear or uncover a clear path to you. They have advantage going forward to following you. That wasn't the one, was it? No, sorry. What was the one, John? I've lost it. Oh, open up the attacker to an ally, giving the ally advantage going forward.
Yeah, that definitely, that would be what I need. Okay,
so RaeDawn goes one way, and some of the tactical squad go that way. Felix is against drawing fire, creating a space, Kit, for you to take a crack at this officer who's directing the fire. So I think that has set you up with Alpha Strike. Roll with calculating with advantage.
So much experience.
Talk about the school of hard knocks. Just for our viewers, that is a 2, a 2, and a 1, which I'm guessing doesn't get you past 6.
No.
So I think that he sees you and directs the automatic fire from his assault rifle at you. So I think I'm just going to inflict some harm on you. 2 harm.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna replace that with stress.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I meant to stress. You can always, when I say harm, you can absorb it with stress. You only have to begin doing stuff when you're stressed, when it's full, or when you choose to. So absorb it with stress. Fine. So it was a neat ploy, but it doesn't seem to have worked. RaeDawn's behind the bar. Felix is still in the middle of the bar behind the table. Sofia, you have one more opportunity to get to the door.
That's what I want to do. I want to get Roberta clear.
Okay, I think that the only way to do that reasonably, to generate an outcome, is to fire as you run.
Yep.
So firefight, I think.
That is a 6.
I don't know who designed this dice roller, but I think it's. So on a 6, I think you take 1 harm. Your ballistic vest is still intact, I think.
Yep.
And you don't make any progress. You try to make a dash for it, and you're driven back into cover, having your vest having taken a bullet. Felix, we've used up, I think. Oh, sorry, go on, Kit.
At this point, I think Kit is going to put her sniper rifle, put their sniper rifle down, and put their hands up. Hold your fire, MCR Intelligence.
RaeDawn. I have to ask RaeDawn what her reaction to finding that Kit is MCRN Intelligence.
You bastard. She's all tangled up with bottles behind the bar, so she's barely sitting up. The fuck you say? And all this time you never say a word. God damn you, son of a bitch.
Felix, what's your reaction? Because I guess I need to know if anyone else are you going to carry on? Do you take Kit's apparent surrender or admission? Take it what you will. What are you doing?
I definitely stop firing. If they cease, I'll cease. I think Felix is maybe wondering, like, is this just a ploy? Surely they're just claiming this and it's not true. But yeah, it seems like this battle's going south for us. So definitely stop firing. And I'll go along with it.
There's a bit of slipperiness about Kit, isn't there? And Kit's background. Sofia, what about you?
I'm again not entirely sure whether this is a ploy. I'm thinking that if it isn't, I'm angry and kind of like, you see my. I take it at face value as first. You see my pistol twitch towards Kit and then kind of go away again. And I'm still driven behind cover here. I think what I want to do here, because I am not willing to be taken by these damn dusters. I am taking out my data pad and I'm trying to send a priority message to the OPA security down here saying that some Martians are shooting up the bar.
And if only OPA security was that well organized, because they are, RaeDawn has told us, I think in the fiction, they're basically gangs. I think this is a commercial break.
Okay.
I think that this revelation and your immediate reactions make for a great commercial break. 5 minutes long enough? Back in our seats at 10 past the hour? Okay, I'll see you at 10 past the hour. Pause the recording. Okay, back from our commercial break after that stunning revelation. And firing has stopped. Sofia is suspicious. Felix, RaeDawn is simply angry, but that's not unusual. The officer or the unit leader checking if it's a ploy says name and serial number. Oh, just to be clear, I think that this pause in the hostilities will have caused every non-combatant, with the exception of Dr. Ashang, to run for it. So now we have a tactical team and you lot in the bar.
Kit Parker, serial number 871485.
And you can see he's checking something on a pad. Okay, Parker, come over here.
I'll still with my hands up, walk over.
The rest of the team are covering the three of you. I will at intervals just check in whether you're doing anything other than staying in cover and observing. Yeah. So he gestures you over, covered by two of the five who are still up and about. I've advanced it again just because I think that their impetuosity has dimmed a bit. And he kind of whispers, and so the rest of you will see Kit whispering or being whispered to. Let me go round again. RaeDawn, have you the disadvantage that you had from whatever happened behind the bar is gone? Are you getting up and observing, or are you hunkered down behind the bar, listening?
No, I am watching. It's all I can do not to go out and cost Kit.
Okay, Felix, what do you do? Are you observing, or I don't know, making a move for the door even?
I guess it's not a ploy. I'm not making a run of it or anything quite yet. I think I've still got the pistol out, probably lowered a bit, and I'm looking for RaeDawn and Sofia, and trying to see if the three of us can regroup, so that at least we're still together, because I don't know what's going on with Kit.
Okay, so RaeDawn, you're behind the bar. You could use the bar as cover to get almost within 2 or 3 steps of the door, the exit, the front way out. Sofia, you've got slightly further to go, and you are still being, your location, if you're hunkered down behind this table, is covered by at least one of the tactical team. Felix, you've got a bit further to go. But certainly you could all, I think that there's a good chance that RaeDawn could get to the door before they did anything. I think there's a reasonable chance that Sofia could get there at low risk. If Felix made a run for it, I think that might be higher risk because you've got furthest to go.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Can I recharge my stoic wall move, or should I leave it as discharged? I'm just wondering, it might come in handy again.
Well, I would be keen to see the recover move used.
Okay.
So when you're out of direct danger, ready a move, weapon, or piece of gear that has been discharged. Absolutely. So roll with stalwart to recover. And that could be true of any of you.
See, only rolled one of them. So that's an 8.
So that's 8. 7 to 9. You take a little too long. Choose 2, but your enemy gets a chance to get into a better position or prepare themselves. So you can undischarge.
Yeah, that's
your stoic wall. I think that in the first round of any hostilities against you, Felix, you will be disadvantaged. Yeah. Sofia, is there anything you want to do in this little hiatus? Like recover? I don't know.
I don't particularly have anything to recover. I've only got one stress, so I'm fine. I wanted to ask a question. If you said that there's a reasonable chance that I could make it to the door,
you would have to make a roll.
Is that with Roberta or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. RaeDawn, if RaeDawn tells me she runs out the door, she's gone, because she can just hunker down behind the bar, get within 2 steps, and she's out. You'd need to roll. Felix is likely to take fire. Okay?
Yep.
RaeDawn, I just need to know if you're making any particular use of this hiatus. I don't know if you've got anything worth recovering at this point.
No, I got nothing worth recovering.
Okay.
Messaging Kit.
I think it's going to be difficult for Kit to look at his
Okay.
device.
All right.
While
Wait,
this
then,
guy.
I get to the end of the bar, so where I can look, where I can make eye contact. Then
it's like I'm
or not Kit. I'm sorry, Felix.
Oh, you could message Felix. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's the message say?
What we do? Sorry, it says what we do.
Oh, okay. Right. It's asking the question.
Yeah, what we do. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Forgot to put the interrogatory at the end.
Yeah, I think the response is let's see what Kit's planning here. If things get bad though, just run.
Things bad now.
I think that's probably enough to and fro between the rest of you. Let's go back to the conversation that we then hear Kit having with this leader of the tactical squad. And he says, I was not led to believe that we had anyone on the ground in this operation.
Our operations have come at cross purposes. What
So
I'm here for,
why
you don't
the
need to know.
fuck? Why? Well, I'm afraid, Lieutenant. I do need to know. What the fuck are you doing here?
Is acquiring a civilian contact.
I think before we go any further with this, we need to know how well that lie goes, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So manipulate with slick.
Yep. Okay. Now you get me sexies there.
They choose one, accept your offer at face value and agree to the exchange. Ask you to promise something and will do what you want if they agree. Okay, I think that's where we're heading with this conversation. Because he says, he's very clear, look, we are here. The Belter, we've had some comms that the crew that now I discover we have someone embedded in is a target. So I you know, if you walk out this room with them, I need to know that if this goes pear-shaped, that this shit lands in your lap and not in mine.
I assure you, it will definitely land in my lap.
So what do you want? You want me to just let you walk out of here, even though they now know who you are?
I'll deal with it.
Do you want backup while you do that?
I think it will go better without the backup.
Okay, friend, but don't say I didn't warn you. And he catches the eye of the team, and covering you as they go, they back out of the rear entrance of the bar, leaving Kit over by that back entrance, Felix and Sofia behind tables, and RaeDawn behind the bar. RaeDawn, what do you do?
What? So, me under arrest?
No, we're free to go.
You didn't answer my question.
Are the Martians gone?
They're gone.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'd say to Kit. Me under arrest?
You're not under arrest. I don't even know if I have the authority to do that anymore.
You wanted for.
I was MRCN Intelligence.
They was looking for me one day.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. I know there's no way to prove that. So you would keep an eye on me all this time?
No.
You just been waiting for time? Why you had, I don't understand. You had 3, 4, 10 times you could have just took me in.
I wasn't here for you. I was here.
Who are you here for then? Who you? What's your agenda? Why are you on the ship?
My agenda was I wanted to be left the hell alone. I was out.
Felix, what do you say to that? As RaeDawn's kicked the ball off, what do you do with the ball, Felix?
I think Felix will attempt, whether or not it's successful, you can tell me, to walk up and slug Kit.
I don't think any of us are expecting that. So as Felix approaches Kit smiling, I think Alpha Strike. I think I smack. Roll with calculating.
Ah, dang it. My own thing is finicky. Okay. That's only a 6, man.
Oh wow. Okay. This uppercut comes out of nowhere, Kit, but you still manage to kind of back off. Yeah. Sofia. It must be said, Roberta Ashang is simply, wide-eyed and look. She is completely lost. What do you do, Sofia?
I think I unmute myself. I think while this exchange has been going on, I think I've drawn my taser out of my other armpit holster and pointed it at Kit, and I'm just holding a bead on Kit.
It feels like the ball is in Kit's court. And at that point, Kit, just when you're thinking this is all going to hell in a handbasket, your hand terminal pings.
I think I make like that pained expression that I just made. Can I get that?
No one's objecting.
I don't
can
want
do it. You can, evidently you can do what you want.
Yeah, I'm just slow movements.
Okay, I'm slowly taking the pad out and looking at what's the ping.
It's a message, and it starts, "Hi Kit, long time no see." I think that is the perfect place to stop. Actually, we have hung that cliff. I think at that point. So I think we will draw this episode to a close. I don't care where my episode strain is. Who needs strain? So that is the cliffhanger that we will leave our final session on. Right. What about a quick round of stars and wishes, just so I know what you want in our finale next time? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say we have the cliffhanger move.
We do have the cliffhanger move. Damn these End of session moves. Okay. So when you reach the end of an episode, I'm so glad that somebody else is got an eye on the rules. When you reach the end of an episode, go through the following, ask the following questions and discuss them as a group. Vote on the answers if you like. Who made the crucial roll or pulled off the right move that ensured success?
Success.
So look, you're still walking.
That
Go ahead, Bodhi.
I was going to say that has to be Kit, because
to be
we
Kit,
did
but
have a
that
Martian Tactical Squad on us. Now we don't.
I-
We got a whole other sort of shit, but
Yeah. I mean, that was an easy problem. Yeah, I think it was probably Kit. So who was the workhouse and always reliably supported the crew in their actions?
Felix?
I think so. I think so. I think that that's what that move is for. It's to be able to hit this flag. Who embodied their character the best and played to their hooks or had a particularly moving, entertaining, or funny role-playing moment? Moment.
RaeDawn, I think.
I think the continued sad realization that everything she thinks about large organizations is true.
Right.
The
right.
pain
Also,
is
also
real.
The bit about the Haven came out, which I was happy. That she's wanted for blowing up a ship.
Right. Okay, so that's for ask the following questions, answer them as a group. Did we complete a mission or contract? Oh, yes, you did. You delivered Dr. Ashang.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
To yourself.
I'd totally forgotten about that.
We generated and completed our own mission. So
You did. So sadly, there is no way that you can pay yourself. But yes, so everyone gets an XP for that. Did we learn something new and important about the universe? Oh, take your pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. XP for that. Did we make a new enemy or thwart an existing enemy? I think that you kind of have thwart, because the MRCN are now either on your back or off your back, but at least you know. Yeah,
Yes.
so I think that's worth an XP. Then ask individually, did one or more of your hooks create problems? Brandon, what about RaeDawn?
Yeah, she's got a huge problem. Its name is Kit. So she's her life has just been banged against a bulkhead.
Because Kit is so beautiful, but they would probably never look my way twice.
Now I know fucking why.
Yeah, I get that.
I know why Kit's never looked at me twice, because I've been a potential target.
What about Felix, John? What do we think?
I don't think so in this episode. I think he rose above his hook and overcame it. So
fair enough. What about Sofia, Bodhi?
I don't think so. Came close on the Martian Navy, but I never actually got a chance to provoke anyone because we were already shooting by that point.
Yes, sadly, you would have already shot at them. And finally, Kit.
So one of mine is probably going to come up next time. I joined this crew under false pretenses, and they must never learn the truth. Is no longer relevant, I guess.
I think that hook is burned, but is worth an XP because you made that tricky decision, and I good for you. Could have gone either way. So that's our XP out the way. Is there anything else I need? Advancement, you know how that works now. Fine. I think we have finished the rules. Let me move on then to stars and wishes. In any particular order, let's start with Bodhi.
Stars to you, Alun, for holding together that plot that we created. that was well done for that. And stars to one of the most engaging and emotionally impactful fights I've ever been in a session. That was wonderful, and kind of everyone played to that, I think. And one particular moment that I want to highlight is Brandon, it's us or them with your hand on Kit's shoulder. That was, yeah, that gave me chills.
Thank you.
Spot on. Moving along, Trev, what stars?
Yeah, stars for John and Brandon for creating that situation at the start. And Bodhi for like doing all the heavy lifting and the tracking down the Roberta, really. And to Alan for like making that all tie together.
Yeah, I mean, I always feel like at this point in any series, one has set so many hairs running, how many can you bring down in the finale? So, you know, that it may turn out that the semi-final was the best match. We'll find out next time. Moving along, Brandon, any stars?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Bodhi, the kicking the door down, grabbing the person you want by the arm, and dragging them to where you're going is so Private Eye. I was just hoping that words would. I was hoping words would fail you all, and you'd have to resort to violence, because that's so appropriate, and that was great. John, Felix is, standing up there in the fight was, I could picture it. It's very character appropriate. And of course, Trav, you bastard. But it was all the setting up, but from a player standpoint, the setting up the do I shoot the leader of a group that that I was an important part of, and letting me be a part of that was a terrific role-playing moment, the kind that doesn't often happen in the middle of a fight. And so that was good. And Alan, I star you every time.
Thank you. And finally, John.
Yeah, big star for Alan for taking our disparate threads and weaving them back together, and then a star for Treb and Kit for the willingness to let your world unravel around you.
Yeah. I'd absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I mean, my highlights, I think Bodhi, it was seeing Sofia be the investigator, and I'm really pleased that's. I'd have been horrified if Treb hadn't kind of called on you to do that, because so I'm really star to Treb for saying, aha, this is where Sofia does jobs. So great. Sometimes when you don't know something's going to come until it happens, and when you said, what's the quickest way to end this, and if you hadn't asked the question again, we wouldn't have got there. So fate, sometimes the fate conspire. So thanks for that, Kit, and making an appropriately dramatic meal of the hard choice. Sometimes you get PBTA moves that say, or offer them a hard choice. Well, you kind of offered yourself that one, so good on you. Brandon, RaeDawn, that kind of, what? Great. And I was so glad, John, that I was able to set a position where you could use the Stoic Wall. We have to find a way to get your Juggernaut in at some point. God knows how we do that, but that was great. A quick cant around wishes. let me go back in reverse direction. John, a wish for next time and our finale.
I think I'm just really interested to see the fallout of this revelation about Kit, and we now have the biologist to continue this project that RaeDawn started. So I'm really curious about that.
Okay. What about you, Brandon?
That's what he said. Yeah, no, that's a whole episode right there. But if anything else happens, it'll be gravy.
Okay. What about you, Treb?
I am just really interested to see where Kit goes from here. If they're gonna remain a part of the crew, or if they're gonna have to figure out their own thing now.
I think I can provide a sufficient leverage to keep you on board the Skylark. And what about you, Bodhi?
I think the thing I really want for next session is to explore the kind of interpersonal stuff, like what happens to us as a crew now. That's the goal for me. That's where I want to go see some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like a request to put you under some pressure where you all have to make some hard choices.
Yes.
Okay. Easy. Okay. Wave bye-bye to the internet while I finish that.